you tell our viewers what is this book about?
This book talks about a range of issues which are at the heart of contemporary Indian politics. It talks about the fact that 15th August 1947 was the day of independence, but also the day of partition, and partition affected the lives of a large number of people. And it looks at how the workers of the UP Congress Party reacted to the party bosses accepting the decision to partition the country. They were very angry about it. They sent angry letters to the Congress High Command as to why they were not consulted regarding the decision of acceptance of the partition plan. They felt that it was a kind of a bow down to the demands of the Muslim League. The Congress had bowed down to the acceptance of the demand of partition, which was seen as primarily put forward by the Muslim League. So it tells you what the rank and file worker on the ground was thinking. We know what the political leaders at the top were thinking. We don't know what the ground level reality was, and we were never told of it in the history books, and we were never told about it in numerous books that were written on the period. So this book attempts to kind of create and look at that particular history at that point of time.
Right. So what do you think are the issues faced by Muslims in 2022?
I think the Muslims, not only of 2022 but the Muslims earlier also, have kind of lost their faith in the professions of secularism, which secularism in practice has failed them miserably, and they have come to realize that ulama and fatwa politics has led the forefront of debates by Congress promotion of the Shahi Imam in the 1970s and 1980s as the representative of Indian Muslims. That really compromised the nature of Congress secularism, giving tickets to people who had supported the Muslim League in 1946. The average Congress worker was very upset at the fact that communal-minded Muslims were being given tickets. People you had fought your whole life against, now they were being given tickets. So that's what the issues are.
So in your book, you talk about communities being used for electoral benefits.
Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate a bit on
the electoral benefits was basically the Congress mobilization of groups on caste and community-based and religious-based mobilization, which was a legacy of the colonial period, but it continued in the post-colonial period also. In the elections, using religious symbols for party mobilization. The Congress makes the accusation this was only done by communal parties or so-called communal parties in Congress imagination of it. But Congress itself used religious symbols to shore up support for itself. It blacked out leaders like Purushottam Das Tandon, who were arguing for the cause of Hindu refugees, who were arguing for the cause of Hindi, leaders who were part of the Congress. And P.D. Tandon became the Congress president in 1950-51. So he was democratically elected Congress president at that point of time. But Nehru just seemed to not agree with him primarily because of his pro-Hindu stance. And he was removed unceremoniously. Tandon was a very honorable leader. He resigned. So that just goes on to tell that post-independence, the party only appealed to a particular constituency because it felt that it was that particular constituency would vote for them constantly in election after election.
Right. So talking about Congress, you also talked about Pandit politics and Muslim appeasement.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more with respect to the recent Gyan Vapi and Qutub Minar and other developments?
These have issues which have been, I mentioned it in my book also, these had this demand to return the three sites. One was Ram Janambhoomi, one was Krishan Janambhoomi, and one was the Gyan Vapi Masjid site. The desire to return these sites was put forth even then. The desire to make make UP a Hindi Pradesh, to declare India as a Hindu Rashtra at that point of time. These demands were put forward. These demands are also coming to the forefront now. Because I feel there are sections who have felt that, and that was articulated at that point of time, that the soft secularism has compromised on certain of these ideals, and the Congress party did not have its ear to the ground, and that is what it kind of tries to do. By promoting leaders like Shahi Imam and communal-minded leaders, Congress dug his own grave because they were largely leaders leading religious politics, and that created an impression of religious-based mobilization and appeasement.
You've also written about making and unmaking of Congress heartland. So would you like to explain a bit about that, and where is it going, like in future?
The unmaking and making of the Congress heartland is with respect to Uttar Pradesh. It was a heartland of UP from the colonial of the Congress. It was a Congress bastion in the colonial period. Post colonial period, I think the Congress party and its policies underwent a radical transformation. The abolition of zamindari, the failure to address certain concerns of certain communities, and a large section of the party workers felt that they were appeasing Muslims, and whether it was the protection of AMU or the activities of that were taking on place, because AMU was the storm center of the Pakistan movement. Even Jinnah called it in his memoirs that it was the Aligarh boys that won us Pakistan. So I feel the Congress party in some of these things lost out to the state because it failed to address the needs and aspirations of its workers. So the unmaking and making of the Congress heartland is talking about the making of Congress in UP and the unmaking of Congress in UP. And to where it is going, I think it's the party's, again, failure to reach out to a large cross-section of people, or even to kind of try to understand what are their needs and aspirations, has led to its demise in UP.
So let's talk about the book. What kind of research went into writing the book, and how long did it take?
The book was a part of my PhD thesis that I started writing in 2010. I had to do extensive research for the PhD at Cambridge, and for which I was constantly making trips to Lucknow and Aligarh and other places. Then post the submission of the thesis, I continued to work more on the book to widen its scope and make it appealing to a large variety of people and different genres and stuff like that. So this book has been in work for 5 to 6 years. So now I'm working on my second book.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is that one message you'd like your readers to take from the book?
Please do read the book. I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it, and I hope it is interesting and thought-provoking for a large section of people, and we start asking the right questions.
Right. Thank you.